Hi everyone, you found Never Enough Time. My name is Brandon. This is a lighthearted look at watches, memories that are created by them and with them. And today we're looking at a microbrand that draws its inspiration from automotive design. I would love for this to be the last time I try making this video. I have tried to make it 12 or 13 times, and the last time I screwed up I was like, Buster! This time, we're going to go one cut. If there's bloopers, if there's edits, we just go with it. Thank you for hanging in there. Let's take a look at this watch.
Oh yeah, lightning's ready. So if you ain't got nothing better to do, let's waste some time.
Different kind of intro. It's been a day where I've tried to make some interesting videos, and I'm in here all by myself. Even though I talk sometimes like there's someone over there, or I look over there like I'm talking to a audience or a group of people, I'm more just like,
Wilson, where are you? Wilson! Wilson!
let's put up the specs of this so we can check out the dimensions of this watch. So when we look at this watch, there's four things I want to touch on that I find very pleasing about the watch. Perhaps a couple things that I would do differently. And then finally, where does this fit inside of someone's collection? It's almost impossible to pick up this watch and not think of automotive or racing. From the checkered flag on the inner ring to the signed crown on the side of the watch, which might be hard to see, but they have the winner's wreath around the M on the crown of the watch. Even the side of it makes it look like a well, I don't know if it's a carburetor, air intake. I wish I knew about cars. I might like this watch more. Whatever the case, every part of this feels like automotive racing is coursing through its veins. So I think that's awesome. The second hand has a nice sweep to it, powered by that Miyota 9105. I think this dial makes me think of an instrument gauge on a car. And then finally, what I was surprised by and not expecting was the lume on this watch, and we'll run in some lume video here, is almost like a dive watch or a field watch, or something along those lines, a military-inspired watch. Typically in automotive design watches, you don't get lume that's that good. So that was very nice. So what are some things that might be polarizing or different for people that they might not actually like or enjoy depending on taste? Well, one is the handset. That's a very unusual handset for an automotive-inspired watch. Typically, when you think automotive, you think precision, you think readability, and I don't think this has either. Now, the minute hand is very dominating, and that's almost a characteristic of a dive watch. Now, I do like that it goes all the way out to the chapter ring, pointing to the exact minute. That's kind of neat. But the hour hand kind of gets washed out, especially in this colorway with the white and the blue. It can be hard to see. And I'm not sure if that would have been changed by having either take away the skeleton hands and have it solid white so it pops out a little bit better. I think with the skeleton, you get the checkered flag coming up behind it that makes it kind of tough. I think the second thing would be the date window. It's a little bit hard to read, and I think it's because of the different layers and depths they created on the watch face. They have a cutout for the checkered flag, which is nice and pleasing to look at. And then one more level below that, you have the date window, which I think can cast some shadows on it. But even if you could see it, I question its use here, because this is not a watch that I see being used in an everyday situation. Now, it could just be me. I'm not a fashionista. I really don't care if people wear what watches with what.
I like your style, dude.
I have my own taste for when I do that. But I think if you're going into any sort of business setting, this watch is just a little too novel, a little too casual. And so it's a watch you're really going to use in at specific times to, the weekend, the evening, to go for a drive.
I'm gonna go for a drive.
Whatever the case is. And in that case, you really don't need a date. It's not going to be worn enough where the date comes into play. So I might have taken that completely off, but you might think differently. Actually, that cutout there actually makes it feel more like a tachometer dial. So again, depending on your taste, you could go either way on that one. The back of the watch, I think, is interesting that they use the checkered flag to tie it into the front. But I probably, on the back of the watch, would have went with a solid case and then engraved a car on there, or etched a car on there, however they do that. This company has racing DNA all through its blood. Why not put a race car on the back to sort of tie off that motif? But that's just me. At any rate, that's the watch. I thank you for watching. In these troubled times, remember, look out for your neighbor. Love God, love your neighbor. We'll all be good on the other side of this. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one.